Welcome, one love. I haven't made a video in some time. Well, what can I say? I've been very busy collecting information and investing. I hope you have been doing the same. Okay? So now, here's the deal, right? We're winding down and we're going backwards. Mm-hmm. You see, of course, everybody's talking about it. It's been the news. It's been in the conscious community. It's been, reverberated so many times. We're going into the Aquarian age. We're going into the Aquarian age, right? So if I say it, it's nothing new. But how many people actually know what does that really mean? Hmm? How many, really? How many are even taking time to know what it means? Not too many. How many care? Maybe not too many. How many will feel? A lot. Those that really don't take the time to find out what does that mean, they don't have to, but they will feel it. Yes, because when times change, we all feel it. But we didn't prepare. That is why sometimes it hits us hard, because it was happening all along. There's no past, present, or future. It's all happening right now. But what you can do in the now can save you a lot of heartache. Because the heart really can ache, because the heart is always speaking about what you should be. And when we don't be our nature, well, nature, of course, what we are means that we're going against ourselves. Of course, we're going to feel pain when you go against yourself. And that's what's happening. That's what it means to go into the age of Aquarius. Means that we are going into the age of Aquarius. It's not that the age is happening, but we're not. No, we are going into that. And those that are alive, you're going to go into it whether you like it or not. That means whatever that age has, it's going to have an effect on you. And either it's going to pull you together or it's going to rip you apart. And what will it rip apart? Your belief system. What you think you know right now. So, I'm here to help you help your children, because that is my nature. What I can say is, number one, know this, that whatever you believe, you need to know your roots. What are your roots? Well, you came here with your 12 cranial nerves going in the direction of the ground, meaning head first if you were in the fetal position of the natural birthing position. And your 12 cranial nerves, okay, those are your roots, as well as your bronchioles that look just like tree roots. See, the tree came before we, and they are our grandparents. So we have to know our roots. You have to know you are the tree. And so that means that you also are the money. Isn't this money that we're using paper? Isn't that trees? Well, that money that we're chasing is yourself. That is your grandparents. Think about that. That same tree that is right there has gold in the earth. And that same gold is in us too. We are the money. Why is it that we feel so broken? It's because we don't trust one another. See? Now, certain cultures of people, they trust one another because they know they don't have a choice. It's a race. They have to trust one another and they have to make each other stronger because it's a race. Now, we don't trust one another, so we are broken. You see, the word trust has a U in it, only one vowel, and that means you must trust you, because if you don't trust you, you can't trust another. I can't trust you, and I can't see you as me. We are only going to see individuality. And there really is no individuality, because in individual, there's dual at the end. Dual is two. So how can you be an individual, save that you be divided in your divinity? So when you are individual and see yourself as that, you're just divided in your divinity, in your masculine and in your divine feminine. So you're pulled apart and you're looking to be whole. So you're an individual. I see you as me. I'm not an individual. I am trillions of cells. I am the money. Now, how do we go forward in the age of Aquarius? Because what is the age of Aquarius going to show us? It's going to show us that everything that we've done is going to be mirrored, because we're going back. That's all. We're going back. Pisces is the end. It's the feet. It represents that. It's the end, the last. You see? And now we're going into the bones, the Aquarius. And it's the water bearer, meaning that the spirit is going to be poured out. Old men will dream dreams. You see, like Martin Luther King, he said, I have a dream. He didn't say, I have a vision. And the scripture clearly states that old men will dream dreams and young men will have visions. And I will pour out my spirit upon them. Well, when you pour out spirit, that is representation of water. And that is also the aqua or Aquarian age. Spirit is being poured out. And those that do not have their spirit in check, well, you are not goods and service for nature, because nature is going back to pristine. See, we've been all out of sorts for thousands of years. It's not like, oh, everything was just great. There was always wars and rumors of wars. That's how all this started, remember? When he said there was a war in heaven and they were cast out. And now we're doing podcast. We got Comcast. There's a lot of casting going on right now. Who's acting in this cast right now, too? So when it means cast out, that didn't mean just get out. It means you were cast out, meaning that you had to get the hell out. Like you cast out. Not nicely. See? So that means things are going backwards to go better. But that means in order to get better, there's going to be a little bit of stir up too, because there's some bad here that have to go. And they're going to be resistant, like resistant bacteria is here too. So that's all we are, is bacteria. Now I'm friendly bacteria. I hope you are. but there's some resistant bacteria here. You hear it even in the hospitals, they're saying resistant bacteria, man-eating flesh bacteria. Well, it's the same thing. In is out, out is in. So you see men who are flesh-eating bacteria. And when I say men, man, I mean human. Flesh-eating bacteria. So everything is mirroring itself. We want to make sure the children are okay, because we have to protect the seeds. Now, everybody says, as above, so below. But how many people say, as below, so above? You must teach your children that as below, so above. So they are seeing themselves in the mirror. Here, in this dimension, there is a higher dimension as well that they are residing on as well. We have to get them to know that they are the world and that they are priceless. Because all of this material things that they are looking for and watching more TV and more phones and more computers, they can't actualize what is in them out, because there's too much that is out coming in. You see, I think it's the hippocampus that actually is a screen. And when we're just always putting things in our eyes and it's registering violently on a hippocampus, it stores it as trauma. And so that screen gets filled. It's just like a TV. There's only so many frames on it. So if our children are constantly watching bad things, right, coming in, those things are being stored on the hippocampus. That's why so many movies have so many ugly things, because they know that watching those things destroys your hippocampus, so that you also cannot produce anything, because it comes from the inside out. You have no room to project anything on your screen to push out, because everything is already filled from looking at things. And this is true. You see, the pineal gland is like a light, but it also has to project on something. So it projects on the hippocampus. But if it's already filled, it can't project nothing out. The light that is coming in from the rays of the sun that give us information. We have to teach our children about the brain, the biology. That is the true investment. Right now, since we're going back, this paper that we're calling money is fiat and nothing backed by it. So we have to teach our children that the brain is the biggest investment, knowledge, turning it to wisdom. That is the legacy that we give our children that cannot be taken away unless they're given a lobotomy. See, gold can be taken, and it tells you in scripture, do not store your treasures in places that thief and moth can enter. So the value is in wisdom. Now, we should have that at certain ages, because we come here and we're put in a Peachtree dish and we're told what to do. We're taught thought. We're taught religion. We're taught to go to school. We're taught to have a job. Everything. We're taught how to eat, and we adapt all of that. But by a certain age, biology sets in and says, something's not right. It doesn't feel right. And then all of a sudden, you're reaching 36 years old and you becoming hopefully more aware that, I took in all of this, but I still don't know how to live. And then you start to wrestle like you want to really now put your head down and start over again and get your roots. Because you're wrestling, coming out the wound now, saying, I got to birth myself over again. And you take a deep breath and you say, wait, it's too much of the world coming in, and I have the world in me, and I need to project outward. And that's when you start to look at and you ask yourself, what do I really know? What do I know? What have I experienced for myself? Not the things that my parents told me, or the teacher told me, or the culture that I came in, this Peachtree dish told me. But what have I experienced? I know for myself to be truth. See? That is what you're asking yourself. What do I know? And you write it down. Because what you know is the knowledge that is just calling you to go higher. Because you can sense in your intuition that all this money you spent on tuition, it doesn't have you living. So now in 2020, the investment is you. The investment is your children. Teaching them who they are faster. Because everything is going backwards. And they need to know faster. Why? Because this is the Aquarian age, and Aquarian means I know. Pisces was I believe. And now, you see, a lot of people say, well, Pisces is the end. Shouldn't it be going back to Aries, which is the first sign of the zodiac? No. Because we're going backwards. So, that means Pisces, Aquarius. Then you're talking Capricorn. So we're going backwards like that. And what we have to know too is that in the Piscean age, well, that was the Jesus era. The fish become fishermen. So now we are becoming not just the fishermen, we're the Aquarians. We're the water bearers now. The ones who have to carry the water, the spirit, the Christ consciousness, carrying the water, the spirit. And anytime this change happens in the ages, there's a lot of stages and changes. That means the money changes and also the gods change. Because if you look at these things, you will see there was the bull. And at one point, cattle was the money. So, cattle and all forms of cattle, even sheep, animals, just to say, was the money. And people was the money. And gold or precious metals. So if we're going backwards, what do you think is going to be the form of money? it's going to be gold because we're going backwards. The gold standard, meaning the fiat money we have, it have to be backed. But it would be backed what? Digitally, because we are only in a mirroring of the past. But we're also going, there was a movie called Back to the Future, where everything looks futuristic, but it's still wrapped in what was already. So that would be digital gold. And land, of course. Because that is what everyone was fighting for. It was land rights. So it's the same. Why do you think Tyler Perry bought 300 acres? Because he know we're going back. See, backwards. And the only way to fix your future is you must correct your past. So he bought the 300 acres to ensure that he is an owner and not a slave. There are many things that are showing you that they want to ensure their future by putting things that was past in the present, like all the Disney movies that they're bringing them back. Why are they bringing them back? Because what was is, and they want to make sure that it is in the future. Right now, we have a window of opportunity to correct our self, nature, help our children. We need to reform the school system because it doesn't teach life. It doesn't teach how to live. It teaches how to be a good slave. We need to teach our children now. They are priceless, and they are the money, and they are the cosmos, that they are limitless, that the sky is not the limit, that Earth is a planet in space, and that we are in heaven. Yet we do not feel we are. And that if we could think our way out of this situation that we're in, we would have been out of it a long time ago, because everyone says they're thinking. But the reason why we're still in it is simply because we cannot think our way out of it. We must feel our way, because we are the ghosts in the darkness. But we must become the light in the darkness. We cannot think our way out. We must feel our way out. Everything in this life is feeling. It is not thinking. When the sun rays come into your eyes for you to see or perceive that you see, your eyes are touched by the rays. When you smell, it is because your olfactory senses are touched as well. When you eat food, it is because your taste buds are touched. Everything in this dimension or this life is about touch. That is the main sense. It is the sense of touch. When the breeze blows upon your skin, it is about touch, and you felt it. I hope that my words are touching you to make change, because it is only that you make the change you as in trust, because we will not be broken if we trust. It is just like when your parent puts a trust in place for you when you get older, and they trust you know how to manage that account. See, trust is not about just deception. Trust is also used in terms of banking, because when you trust someone, you can bank on them. When you trust yourself, you can bank on yourself to get up and do what you say you're going to do, not make excuses. So, when we came to this planet, everything here we were entrusted with. We don't really have lack, we have abundance. But where do we find that abundance? I find it in you. You find it in me. I find you valuable. You find me valuable. We trust one another, and then we will never be broken. Because you have an idea and I have an idea. And those ideas are not even our own. They come from the sun that gives us brightness. See, when they say, oh, you're so bright, you're so smart. Why? You're so bright because it's the sun that is giving you that intellect or that intellect. You see? So we must trust one another and see the greatness and unite, because united we stand. Divided is what they want us to do, so that we fall, because we don't trust one another. And our children are watching as we divide and be conquered. And I have to say that my own godchild, 3 years old, he said something so profound the other day. He said, I lost. No, how did he say? He said, oh, I didn't lose my mind, but I'm losing my imagination. And I asked his grandmother, and I said, what did he just say? And she said, Kai, what you say? And not thinking that a 3-year-old could repeat it, like maybe it was just a fluke and he just said something. He didn't know what he was saying. No, he repeated it again. He said, I haven't lost my mind, but I'm losing my imagination. What does a 3-year-old know about that? Save the fact that he's just getting here from the spirit world, and he's looking around and saying, I haven't lost my mind, but these people have me not being able to even imagine what I need to do, because I have laptop and phone and everything in my face. So I can't even create what's in me out. So going forward, before the spring equinox, we have work to do together. We have to work to unite, not divide. We have to work to trust one another, because that is why we are broken. When I loan you money, it's energy, but I am the energy. We are the money. When I loan you my heart, you see, I must trust you, because I'm giving you everything, and you're giving me everything when you give me your heart. You're loaning that to me. You can't really give it to me. It's a loan, because it doesn't belong to you even. We have to give it all back to Mother Earth. So it's a loan. We loan ourselves to one another, and we must trust one another. So invest in trusting you. And when you invest in trusting you, then you will also trust me. This is very, very important. Going forward, back to the future, lest we become slave again because we don't trust. What time is it? It's trust. Trusting time. And then we can bank on one another because we're going back to the future where we're going to need one another again. So let's invest in land that we can have our village, because it is really going to take a village to raise these children in this world that is being created. We need villages or we are going to lose our children. Because according to my godson, he can't imagine anything now. And that's 3 years old talking. That's all I'm saying. That's 3 years old. He can't imagine already. Well, I think I've